What if I told you it's not your words she remembers, it's your silence? Not the pleading, the texts, the apologies, the long confessions, none of music that. It's the moment you vanished, the day you stopped explaining, the second your energy disappeared to it or a trace. That's when her soul started to ache and she couldn't even explain why. You thought losing her was the tragedy. Nope. The tragedy was believing that her approval defined your worth. You were trained to chase, to prove, to affix while she watched you crumble. And now you're here. Alone. Never wondering if silence is weakness or power. Let me tell you something hard but true. Your silence, music on its rooted instinct, not pity, is the loudest message she ever hear. Stoicism doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you no longer betray yourself to make someone else feel whole. That's the difference between a wounded boy and a powerful man. This is the story of a man broken by love but reborn in detachment. No yelling, no threats, no drama, just silence. And in that silence, he becomes a mystery. A ghost she can't stop thinking about. A presence she starts to feel in every absence. Her soul starts to ache. Because silence, when it's pure, is radioactive. You want her to regret living. You want her to question everything. Them don't speak. Don't chase. Don't prove. Disappear and evolve. If you're tired of being the emotional punching bag, if you're ready to shift from broken to untouchable, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below, I rise from my silence. Now, let's begin. Number 1, the break music didn't break you. It broke the illusion. You didn't lose the love of your life. You lost the lie you told yourself about who she was. That's the wound you're really nursing. That's the burn that keeps you up at night. But let's get one thing straight right now. The breakup didn't break you. It broke the illusion you clung to like a life raft. The illusion that she was the one, that it was forever, that if you just loved her hard enough, stayed loyal long enough, she would finally see your worth. Nope. That version of her existed only in your mind. Больше чем music, больше чем you weren't in love with the real her. You were in love with the role you hoped to play in your life. And once that mask slipped, once she walked through, once the fantasy collapsed under the weight of reality, you were left not with heartbreak больше чем music, больше чем, but with clarity. It is what Stoicism teaches us. Pain is a purifying fire. It doesn't destroy the truth. It reveals it. What you're going through right now, that isn't weakness. It's the death of delusion. You're seeing things clearly for the first time and it hurts because clarity always dies. But don't mistake that pain for failure. Больше чем music, больше чем it's growth. You thought her living meant you weren't good enough. But what if it meant you are finally being set free from your own blindness? What if this is the beginning of the version of you that no longer tolerates have love, confusion, and emotional crumbs? What if this isn't music the end of something, but the beginning of everything? Let her go. Not out of pity, not out of ego, больше чем music, больше чем, but out of wisdom. You needed to believe in that fantasy once, but now you know better. And that's where power starts. The moment you stop trying to fix what was never whole to begin with. Number 2, you are her nothing. Not even closure. Stop thinking she's confused. Stop thinking she needs clarity. She knew exactly what she was doing when she pulled through, when she stopped answering, when she ghosted, when she walked. Music that isn't an accident. That isn't mixed signals. That was her making a choice and hoping you'd be too weak to call it what it is. It is the brutal truth. Closure is a trap. You think it's about getting answers, but really, it's about getting permission to let go. You don't need permission. Больше чем music, больше чем you need boundaries. You need discipline. You need to understand this one rule of dark psychology. The person who seeks closure gives away power. The person who walks through without explaining themselves is hoping you chase for meaning because it has control. But you're only giving her that control. You don't music text. You don't ask why. You don't post cryptic messages begging her to notice your pain. That's what she expects. That's what most men do. You're not most men. Stoicism teaches you to stop needing a narrative. Music let her wander. Let her feel the silence. Let her sit with the absence of the man who set to pour himself out just to keep her attention. Do you want her to regret losing you? 10. Say nothing. Do nothing. Music. Let your silence be the wall she crashes into every time she tries to justify what she did. When she reaches back out, on before closure, it will be because the silence turned into a mirror, and she doesn't like what she sees in it. You don't tell her a final conversation. You don't tell her forgiveness until you're ready. And you sure as hell don't tell her another piece of your soul just so she can sleep at night. Number 3. Your absence echoes louder than words. She doesn't remember the 100 texts. She doesn't replay the long voice messages. She forgets the details of every apology you ever give. But your silence, that's what lingers. That's what keeps her awake because your absence forces her to hear something she never expected. Her own thoughts without your noise to drown them out. It is what most guys don't understand. Women don't regret the men who chased. They regret the ones who vanished without explanation. The ones who refused to argue. The ones who didn't give them the drama, the emotional reaction, the ego stroke. When you say nothing, when you stop feeding the fire, you force her to sit with the consequences of her own actions. That's the beginning of her reckoning. Dark psychology teaches this. The human brain fills in blanks with fear. And when you go silent, her mind starts writing stories. Больше чем music, больше чем is he healing? Is he moving on? Has he met someone better? Is he done with me forever? That loop doesn't stop because you will become a mystery. And mystery is addictive. Especially to someone who wants had access to everything, your heart, music. You're only explaining yourself to someone who didn't listen when it mattered. This is power. This is tight detachment. This is you taking your energy back and letting your absence do what your presence never could, make her feel the loss. Above, she can't miss you if why. You never disappear. You want to know why she's not taking music back. Why she looks on battered while you're drowning. It's because you never actually left. You were still there, liking her pasts, watching her stories, staying available in her inbox. She didn't feel your absence. She felt your desperation. And as long as she can feel it, she won't music miss you. She just fit on it. Let's be clear. Attention is currency. And every time you check in, reply instantly. Music or TRY to keep the connection alive, you're rapping her in full. You're financing her your music while bankrupting your self-respect. That's not love. That's addiction. That's emotional depth. And stoicism doesn't do depth. Disappearing doesn't mean you delete your life. It means you remove your energy from where it's being wasted. You stop performing for someone who's already made a choice. You stop hoping that your presence will convince her to change her mind. Because it won't. But your absence might. Больше чем music, больше чем when she can't access you, when you stop orbiting her word, something shifts. The roles reverse. She starts to wander, starts to ruin, starts to reach. Because the most haunting feeling isn't rejection, music it's uncertainty. And your silence, your distance, your refusal to keep feeding the machine, that's what creates it. This isn't about making her miss you. This is about reclaiming what you've been giving away too freely. Time, attention, value. She won't recognize it while you're still giving it. She only start to see it once it's gone. Number 5, don't show her. You've healed. Show her you've evolved. She doesn't care that you're healing. Healing sounds weak, sour, passive, like you're still picking up the pieces she shattered, like you're waiting for her to notice your growth and clap for it. Nope. That's not power. That's performance. And she can smell it from a mile away. You don't need to show her you're better. You need to become unrecognizable. Evolution is quiet. IT doesn't back. Больше чем music, больше чем IT doesn't earn awards. IT moves in silence. One day she sees you, months later, years later, and she doesn't recognize what she walked through from. That's not healing. That's rebirth. That's detachment, music discipline, and dominance over your own mind. Stoicism teaches this. You don't control what others feel. You only control who you become. So, you stop watching her story. You stop caring who she's with. You stop trying to prove anything. Music instead, you grind. You sharpen. You build emotionally, mentally, physically. Not to make her regret leaving, but to make yourself grateful that she did. Because she didn't break you. She introduced you to the version of you that doesn't chase. The version that doesn't tolerate mixed signals. The version that walks through with quiet confidence and never looks back. That's what makes her nervous. Not your pain, but your progress. When she sees that you didn't just move on, you leveled up, she starts to question everything. Больше, чем music, больше, чем, because you didn't need closure. You didn't need revenge. You needed a reason to. All become unstoppable. And she gave you that reason. So, song for with your silence. Больше, чем music, больше, чем, and destroy the old version of yourself she thought she left behind. Number 6. Music emotional control is the ultimate seduction. You think she wants the guy who's emotionally available. The guy who spills his heart, cries on you, shows his wounds at the door. Nope. Not when she's the one who caused the bleeding. What gets in her head, what she can't shake, is the man who stays calm past. The one who bleeds without a sound. The one who doesn't beg, doesn't rage, doesn't crumble. That man owns her. Emotional control is power. And in a world that worships reaction, it's also seduction. You want to be attractive in a way that lives rent-free in your mind. 10. Master your emotions. Don't show her pain. Show her progress. Don't show her music chairs. Show her calm. When she expects you to implode and you don't, she starts to implode. Because silence music after betrayal, that's unsettling. That's power she didn't expect. Stoicism isn't emotional suppression. It's emotional precision. You feel everything, but you reveal nothing unless it serves a purpose. You learn to process, not perform. That's how you stop being her puppet. That's how you stop reacting to her moves like you're still on the board. You flip the board. You leave the game. And she's left playing with shadows. She won't remember what you said. Больше, чем music, больше, чем she remember how nothing shook you. How you vanished, evil within, and never once folded. That's what lingers. That's what seduces her long after she thought she hit the upper hand. Because when she can't predict your next move, you become the one thing she can't control. Больше, чем music, больше, чем unforgettable. Number 7. The more you react, the more she rules. Every time you lash out, send a long paragraph, post something indirect, or double-text, she wins. Not because she deserves it, but because she owns your emotional center. And when someone owns your reactions, they own you. That's not love. That's submission. That's emotional slavery dressed up as trying to fix things. It is what most men never learn. The more emotional you are after she walks through, the more she can come and go whenever she wants. She holds the leash. You bark. And that reaction, that's confirmation. It tells her, I still have him. I still own space in his mind. It's still mine, even if I left. But not you. Music not anymore. Because stoicism isn't empathy. It's strategy. You choose when to respond. You choose when to speak. You choose when to walk. And sometimes the most powerful move is none at all. You don't throw fits. You don't explain yourself. You become emotionally sovereign, unmoved, unshakable. She can't try to provoke you, tempt you, beat you into breaking your silence. But all she meets is stillness. That stillness, it's thriving. Because now she's the one reacting. Now she's the one wondering. Now she's the one obsessing over why she no longer has pull. Why she can't get you to flinch, break, or back like before. You will become a fortress, and she doesn't know the layout anymore. Dark psychology teaches this. People crave control over their own stage. A believed heavy heart. When you deny that control, you force them to confront their own actions. You flip the mirror, music, and they don't like what they see. Number 8. Regret grows in the void you leave behind. Regret music doesn't hit her when you see ROI. It doesn't hit when you plead, explain, or ask her to come back. Regret only grows in the dark. In the quiet, empty space where your energy is set to life. Больше, чем music, больше, чем that's when she starts to feel it. Not because you punished her, but because you removed something she never thought she'd lose. Your presence. Let's make something clear. She expected you to chase, to linger, to orbit her life like a loyal satellite. When you didn't, music when you vanished with no drama, no begging, no emotional breakdown, something inside her cricket. Because silence is different from distance. You aren't just music gone. You were unavailable, unreachable. And that kind of absence, it echoes. States mdajesn't si krivenge. It creates distance. And that distance becomes the stage for her self-reflection. She starts to ruin. She starts to romanticize. She starts to realize больше, чем music, больше, чем you were. You didn't lash out. You didn't grovel. You simply removed yourself and gave her the gift of living with her choices. Dark psychology knows this. People only realize what they lost when they feel what it's like without it. When the validation vanishes. When the comfort disappears. When the silence becomes unbearable. And they start questioning if they misjudged everything. That's when regret blooms in the vacuum you left behind. So, no. Больше, чем music, больше, чем you don't need to show her what she lost. Let her discover it in your absence. Let her regret become a slow, silent burn. Fed not be why you are prisoners, but be why your evolution without her. Number 9. Detachment music isn't hatred. It's clarity. Don't confuse detachment with bitterness. This isn't about turning cold. It's about getting clear. You don't detach because you hate her. You detach because you finally see her. Больше, чем music, больше, чем clearly. Without the filters. Without the fantasy. And now that you've seen the truth, staying connected would be a form of self-betrayal. Detachment is the moment you realize you don't need revenge, closure, or validation. Больше, чем music, больше, чем you don't need her to understand what she lost. Because you understand what you gained. Peace. Mental clarity. Emotional space. And once you've tasted that, you don't go back to chats just because it's familiar. States isn't about numbing out. It's about choosing at sword your energy. And the moment you detached isn't the moment you give up. It was the moment you stopped bleeding for someone who was never willing to bandage the wounds they caused. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. She might say you changed it. Nope. You evolved it. She might accuse you of being heartless. Nope. Music you just finally prioritized yourself. She might reach out again, test the waters, see if you're still on the leash. But what she finds is a man who's no longer emotionally available to the same patterns, the same games, the same version of her. You've detached not out of pity, but music out of self-respect. That's what stings her the most. Your interference isn't fake. It's real. You don't miss her. You don't hate her. You see her. Больше, чем music, больше, чем and what you see no longer moves you. Number 10. From pain to power. The stake awakening. This is where the story flips. Not when she takes back. Not when she watches your story. Not when she accidentally bumps into you. No. Your power begins when you no longer care if she ever comes back. When you stop checking your phone. When her name no longer stings. That's the stake awakening. When the pain burns through the weakness and leaves only strength behind. You've been through a hell. You know what it's like to be broken over someone who didn't even flinch. But you didn't stay broken. You said it. You stopped asking, why did she leave? And started asking, who am I becoming because of it? That's when everything changed. Stoicism teaches this truth. You don't control the storm, but you can become the calm inside it. Больше, чем music, больше, чем that's what you are now. The man who doesn't need her. The man who doesn't chase. The man who stopped outsourcing VHS work to someone else's perfection. You've stepped into your own power. And now that you're on your mind, no one else can rent space in it. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about making her regret it. This is about walking out of the ashes with your head high and your soul intact. This is about never letting someone else's confusion shake your foundation again. You were never weak. You were just emotionally invested in the wrong person. But now you invest in yourself. Daily. Relentlessly. Covertly. You don't rise to hurt her. You rise because she shouldn't destroy you. That's real power. Music, that's what stoicism looks like in the real world. And that's why your silence is destroying her soul. This isn't about playing games. Больше чем music, больше чем this isn't about becoming cold or toxic. This is about remembering who you are when no one is clapping for you, when the world goes quiet, when she walks through and you're left with nothing but your own breath, your own thoughts, and the choice to break or build. You choose to build. That's why you're here, watching this, listening. Not to get her back, больше чем music, больше чем, but to get you back. The strongest version, the calmest, the most focused, the one who doesn't beg for validation but remains responds to it or think a word. She might never admit she regrets it. That's fine. She doesn't need to. Because your silence has already spoken. Your growth already echoes, and her soul already feels what her pride won't say out loud. Больше чем music, больше чем she lost a man she never replace. Let her go. Stay silent. Evolve in peace, and never again let anyone hold the pen to your self-worth. If you felt that, больше чем music, больше чем, if you're ready to let your silence speak for you, then hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and one last time, drop it in the comments below. She lost me. I found me. Thanks for watching, stay blessing. Our silence isn't weakness, it's weaponry. Больше чем music, больше чем, stay sharp, stay grounded, and remember, real power needs no permission. See you in the next one. Больше чем music, your time, your energy, and now has none. You don't need to block her. Больше чем music, больше чем, you don't need to make a scene. You just disappear. Calm, cold, controlled. Больше чем music, больше чем, that's what breaks her. Not the anger. Not the begging, but the quiet truth that you no longer need to be heard. You no longer need to be understood.